Craig will be Ava's husband, not you. From this day forward, you will leave Ava alone. Sandra triumphantly pointed at the door. Get out of this house. Aiden stood aghast in the den of the Stone family mansion. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. After his fight to ward off the thugs that were harassing Ava, he was surprised to hear that Sandra and Robert felt like he had abandoned their daughter. Ava looked completely distraught. She burst into tears and ran upstairs to her room. Ava, wait! Aiden started to follow her, but Robert stood in his path. You abandoned her in that bar, and now you think you can go after her? In my house? Do you expect everything to go back to the way it was? Aiden groaned. Robert, I stood up for Ava in the bar. I fought off all those guys in the alley outside. What will it take for you both to believe me? Sandra frowned. Sorry, but we heard a different story. What does she mean? Who told them I abandoned her? Aiden's eyes drifted over to Craig. The smirk on his face made it clear immediately. Craig must have spun this little story for them. Craig took that as his cue to step forward. Listen, Aiden. Just take it like a man. Ava's mine and not yours. Now, why don't you pack your bags and head on home? Aiden pleaded with Robert. You have to believe me. I would never leave your daughter like that. Stop lying. Unless you want to see me get really angry. Robert's brow furrowed as he spoke. Then Aiden decided to play the ace up his sleeve. You're too late, you know. Ava and I are already married. Aiden folded his arms, defiant. Craig looked confused. What? Harvey told us to go down to the courthouse and get married today. So we did. We have a marriage certificate and everything. Sandra huffed. That doesn't matter. We can say Harvey orchestrated that without our consent. We'll get the marriage annulled in no time, and then Ava will be free to marry Craig. Aiden chuckled to himself. The way she talks about him, I think Sandra wants to marry Craig more than anyone else. However, for now, Aiden could see that the battle was lost. He wasn't going to change Sandra and Robert's minds here. I promise you, I'll find a way to fix this. He glared at Craig. You don't deserve someone like Ava. I swear to you, whatever promises Sandra and Robert have made, it won't protect you from me. Without saying another word, Aiden turned on his heels, racing up to Ava's bedroom to go and see her. Aiden quietly cracked open the door to Ava's bedroom. To his surprise, she was already asleep. She must have cried herself to sleep, Aiden thought to himself. Looking at her, he couldn't believe how lucky he felt to be married to her. She's so beautiful. A guy like Craig doesn't deserve such a masterpiece. He sat down at the end of the bed, resting his hand on her. In a moment of impulse, realizing that they were now married, Aiden tried to cuddle up next to her. What are you doing? Ava suddenly woke up with a start. She kicked at him, forcing him out of bed. What do you mean? I'm your husband. You're my wife. We're married now. Aiden tumbled onto the floor. You're not my husband, Aiden. You're actually my own personal hell on earth. Ava began to cry again. So what, you'd rather marry Craig instead? Aiden sighed at the thought. Has it ever occurred to you that I don't want to be ordered to marry anybody? Ava wiped tears from her cheeks. Maybe I just want to actually fall in love. Pick someone for myself. Aiden exhaled, his face growing flush. Besides, Ava continued, you promised me you would help me. You promised me that you would find some way to make this all up to me, and you haven't. What have you done to try and make my life better? Aiden sat back down at the edge of the bed, putting a little more distance between them. Did you get a meeting with Shaw Industries today, by any chance? Ava furrowed her brow. Yes? What does that have to do with anything? Well, I told you I'd help you. Ava scoffed. What does me getting a meeting with Cyrus Shaw have to do with a penniless delivery boy? Don't pretend to actually take credit for that. Besides, Cyrus is an old family friend. It has more to do with that than anything else. She jumped up from the bed, heading to the bathroom. She wiped her face off in the sink, exhaling. Craig would never lie to me the way you do. You know that? He's a good, decent man, unlike you. How can I prove to her that it was me? Aiden wondered. I can't. Not without revealing my true identity. And Ava can't know that I'm the tiger. Not yet. Aiden, I think it's time you left now. Ava leaned on the door jamb in the bathroom, clutching her robe. Get out. Ava, please, let me try to explain. Aiden pleaded with her one last time. Get out, get out, get out! She pushed him out of the bedroom, slamming the door in his face. Aiden lingered in the hallway for a moment. Well, this was not how I expected my wedding day to go. Isn't there supposed to be a honeymoon period? He snuck back down to the staff quarters, making up a bed for himself. Despite how exhausted he was, he could barely sleep. He just stared up at the ceiling, the gears in his head turning. The next morning, Aiden snuck out quietly, being careful not to attract the attention of any members of the Stone family. Luckily, he didn't run into any of them. He managed to make it to the office without being spotted. Once he arrived at SafeTech, Aiden heard a sharp whistle. He turned to see Cyrus waving at him from a nearby empty office. Aiden, come here. There's something I need to discuss with you. Aiden hurried into the office. What's going on, Cyrus? Is everything okay? Yes, everything's fine. However, as he said this, Cyrus poked his head out of the office door, glaring from side to side. He seems worried about something, Aiden thought to himself. After making sure the coast was clear, Cyrus shut the door. Okay, we should be alone now. I've had the office checked for any listening devices, and there are none that we can find. Cyrus began to pace. Aiden frowned. What's going on, Cyrus? It's all under control, but we have to go over the plan for the auction. Right. I had almost forgotten. The auction is happening later today. As I mentioned before, Lara is going to be there. Aiden got goosebumps just hearing Lara's name. I'm looking forward to meeting her. Yes, Cyrus sighed. But there's a problem. What is it? Cyrus folded his hands behind his back as he paced back and forth. We always have agents out in the field, keeping their eyes and ears to the ground, making sure that all of our exploits remain unseen, and that our operatives are safe. Of course, since you'll be at the auction today, and you are the tiger, we've doubled our recon. Aiden sat down across from Cyrus. And? Cyrus blinked. Well, one of our scouts discovered that... Well, it's possible that Dominic Grayson will also be in attendance at the auction today. Aiden nodded. I see. That does pose a problem. But also, perhaps an opportunity. Cyrus furrowed his brow. An opportunity. Aiden stood up again. We've got to get more information on Dominic if we're going to head him off at the pass. If he's targeting the Tiger Group, Maximilian, or me, we've got to be on top of it. As he spoke, he recalled his fight with the 3 rogue agents in the alleyway. I've been seeing how the Tiger Group is run lately, and frankly, I'm not impressed. We've got rogue agents, men who don't take orders. If I'm going to run this group and defeat Dominic, we need to be unified. Cyrus beamed. You are absolutely right. He walked over to Aiden, clapping his shoulder. You've got a real knack for this. Just remember, use your Tiger Group card to get into the right places and talk to the right people. That card will save your life out there, especially at an auction like that. Aiden nodded. Well, if there's nothing else, I have some business to tie up here before I go. Cyrus nodded. Perfect. I'll meet you there. Aiden started for the door to the office. Oh, and Aiden. Aiden stopped, turning to face Cyrus. There's just one more thing. Aiden froze. Yes? Cyrus looked unsteady. I'd be wary of Lara. Even more so than Dominic Grayson. A look of shock flashed across Aiden's face. Lara? Cyrus nodded. She looks like the most beautiful rose you'll ever see. But remember, roses have thorns. Is Lara as dangerous as everyone says she is? What will happen when Aiden meets her at the auction? And can Aiden trust her?
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.